TV shows adapted from movies are not usually that great. In addition to the budget differences between movies and TV, trying to adapt a 3-act feature film into an episodic TV format almost never works. With a few notable exceptions, the TV series is usually a pale imitation of its film origin and can sometimes come off like a cash grab to milk more money out of a successful idea. But today, we're going to talk about a TV adaptation that defied those odds and gave us one of the funniest new comedies on TV. And that show is What We Do in the Shadows on FX. So let's get into it. What We Do in the Shadows began as a 2005 short film written and directed by Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement that was the basis for the 2014 mockumentary about 3 vampire roommates living in Wellington, New Zealand. It's one of the funniest movies of the past 10 years, and if you haven't seen it, you absolutely should. Part of what makes it so great is the dynamic between the vampires. There's Viago, an 18th century dandy who's still concerned with decorum and politeness, Vladislav, formerly known as Vladislav the Poker, who can transform into animals, though he always gets the faces wrong, and Deacon, the younger bad boy of the group, who keeps a human familiar named Jackie, who he basically just manipulates into doing all the chores around the house. The film has a loose feel where you can tell they had such a talented cast that there was room for improvisation, and that leads to some major laughs. The movie is so good that it spun off 2 TV shows, Wellington Paranormal, which airs in New Zealand and follows the 2 police officers in the film who had run-ins with the vampires, and FX's What We Do in the Shadows, which is basically a TV version of the film. I'll admit, I was a little nervous for the FX series because I didn't know how they could possibly capture what made the film so amazing without that cast. Chemistry is so fundamental in good comedy, and bringing in 3 new vampires seemed like it just wouldn't work the same way. But man, did they prove me wrong. Much like the original, FX's What We Do in the Shadows is also the story of 3 vampires living together, though this time it's Staten Island instead of Wellington. We have 3 new vampires in Nandor, Laszlo, and Nadia. Nandor was the bloodthirsty ruler of a kingdom in modern-day Iran who used to relentlessly pillage until he earned the nickname Nandor the Relentless.
Because I just never relent.
Laszlo was the ladies' man of his small village, and he was made a vampire by Nadia, who later became his wife. They're madly in love, though it's also been centuries, so they do get annoyed with each other.
We have a great time together.
Early on, she tries to reconnect with the reincarnated spirit of her former lover, a man who had been killed by a jealous Laszlo in several incarnations of his life. She also creates another vampire while trying to empower a nerdy college girl. The addition of a female vampire character lets the show move in a new direction from the film, and Nadia just might be my favorite of the gang. The series also brings something new to the table with housemate Colin Robinson and the concept of the energy vampire. What if the bland guy from your office who bores you to death and annoys you with mundane small talk was actually feeding off your frustration the whole time? Colin starts off as more of a side character, but throughout the first 2 seasons, his role really expands. Of course, because the story involves the vampires interacting with the human world, our immortal gang is assisted by Nandor's human familiar, Guillermo, who has been strung along for years in the hopes of becoming a vampire. His performance is some of the best happy-go-lucky but just a little bit seething with rage that I've ever seen. The relationship between Nandor and Guillermo starts out kind of similar to Deacon and Jackie from the film, but I love the way that it evolves, especially after Guillermo learns more about his own heritage at the end of season 1. So while the setup to the story is similar to the film, much like the film, the key strength is the characters. There is no weak link in this gang, and each of the actors is really sinking their teeth into the role. Oh god, that was such a bad vampire joke. The fake reality TV format actually works really well for comedy, as we've seen with shows like The Office, and it's great to see all the new places the characters can go. Season 1 gets us familiar with the world and the characters, and then Season 2 just kicks up the comedy and we get some absolutely hilarious storylines, including my personal favorite, Laszlo hiding out from an old rival disguised as a human named Jackie Daytona. And of course, there are guest stars aplenty because who wouldn't want to be on such a hilarious show? I don't want to give too much away in this video because it's great to discover all the jokes for yourself. So if you haven't checked out What We Do in the Shadows yet, the first 2 seasons are available to binge on Hulu. Whether you've seen the original film or not, this series is great and it's absolutely worth checking out. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.